Welcome to Global Insiders Podcast. I am Ryan, the peripatetic one, bringing you information about opportunities relating to jobs, traveling, and any information that can elevate you to your rightful place in this thing called life. You can find more information and how-to methods on globalinsidersgroup.com. That is insiders with an S. And here is today's show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the show, Insider. Today I'm happy to have a vibrant but yet humble woman on today's show. Travels so often that she now calls herself the jet-lagged babe. So continue doing whatever you are as I try to get answers and tips about the jet-lagged lifestyle. Hello, Alexandra. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Ryan. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. Please introduce yourself to the insiders.
My name is Alexandra. I'm a French girl coming from a tiny island in the Caribbean, French island, Guadeloupe.
Nice, fantastic. And I know I butchered your name, so I do apologize if I continue to do throughout the show. I do
Are
not.
you okay with Alex?
Okay, Alex, thank you for that. I do not want to waste a second with you, so let's dive in. How many countries have you been to?
I think about 25, 26, something like that. I've stopped counting at some point,
Wow, I can't wait to get to that level where I stop counting the amount of countries I've been to. That is fantastic. I like that, and I mean that is the main reason why I actually have you on the show today. To just talk to us a little about this. How many have you been to in the past year?
Last year, I think I did like 7 countries from January to December. Yeah,
That
like
is
7.
that is awesome. Which was your favorite last year?
It was Jamaica, definitely.
Really? Okay. How long
Yeah,
were you in Jamaica though? How long were you in Jamaica?
I stayed for a whole year, actually.
Okay. And how did that happen? Because you actually studied in Jamaica also.
Yeah, well, I was involved in a joint program between UE, the University of the West Indies, and my university in France. It's a program called the MPIC. It's a cooperation program where you got to study political sciences, international relations, and at the 4th year, you get to do the year in Jamaica. Like, we have half French people and half Jamaican people. So the Jamaican come to France, and the French people from the French island in the Caribbean and from France mainland, they go to Jamaica.
Okay.
That's how I got to come to UE.
Yes, that sounds like a very exciting program. And you have to be doing international relations for you to be able to get into that program. Do you know?
Yeah, well, you can get some information in UE. I think you have to do the first year of international relations, and then you have to apply to join the French program that is called MPIC. But I'm available if anyone has any questions and want to go to this program. I
Okay.
can answer questions.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Um, since what age did you develop this passion to travel?
Well, I think I was quite born in that lifestyle because I was born in France, but then when I was like 6 months old, my parents decided to travel and to go live in Guyana.
Oh,
And from that, they started moving from countries like every 3 or 4 years. To
wow. How was that for you though? I mean, was that hectic or did you love it?
Well, at the beginning, I was always crying because, you get to create new friendships and then you lose them. You don't really lose them, but, you leave your friends and you have to find new house, new friends, new lovers and, things like that. But with the time, I was used to it and I loved it. And until today, I cannot stay in one place. It's in my blood. I have to move and discover new places, new countries, new friends.
Yes, I can imagine. I mean, and it sounds as if it fits you too. So, do you remember like your the very first trip? Was that?
Very first trip, let's say solo, maybe.
Yes.
I remember going to Tunisia with just my best friend, traveling alone, and I was, I think, 17. That was my first solo trip.
Okay, yeah. Good. Thank you. Let's play a word association game. I'm going to call the name of some countries and places, and you can speak freely. One word is okay, or if you want to give me a sentence, that is all right. So let's go.
Oh my God, I'm scared.
No, don't be. Let's go with Cuba.
Mojito.
Okay, drink. Huh?
I'm ashamed.
No, don't be. Guadeloupe.
Home.
Oh, nice. Jamaica.
Paradise.
Paradise, wow. France.
Fromage. That's cheese.
Cheese, okay, nice. And Salem, Saint Anne.
Did you say Saint Anne?
Yes, Salem in Saint Anne.
Oh, beach.
Beach, okay, nice. Portugal.
Portugal? Food.
Food, okay. Could you elaborate on that for me?
Yeah, I got to taste for the first time in my life what they called pastel.
Yes.
It's like a mini tartelette, like a flan. Well, I don't really know how to explain it in English, but it's some pastry and it's so good. And since the day I went to Portugal until today, I buy it in the stores in France because I love it.
What is the name again?
Pastel.
Pastel, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll put that. I'll Google that and find out exactly how it looks and see if I can get some more information on it. Okay, Lebanon.
Culture, I would say. Arabic culture.
Arabic culture, okay.
Yeah.
Mayotte.
Family.
Family.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last one, Amsterdam.
Nice ride biking. I would say bike.
Bikes.
Bikes, yeah.
You like the bikes over there. Alright. Well, I said that was the last one, but no. Let's try one more. Central African Republic.
Humanitarian missions.
Okay, good. Thank you. So, which country is your favorite and why?
I would say Guadeloupe because it's my home. It has always been my home. Traveling countries to other countries when I was a little girl and until today, I have one place, one room, one bed that is mine, and it's in my mom's house in Guadeloupe. So I think it's my favorite. And the island is so beautiful. Looks a lot like Jamaica, actually.
Yes, I can imagine. But you're saying something very interesting there. So you do like that home feel, even though you like to, go to new places and, you have that adventurous spirit about you. You definitely like that home feel of a place.
Yes, I think I need it in my life. I need to know that wherever I go, wherever I stay, I always have a place to go back and be with my family and with my longtime friends, a place that will never go. You know, when you grow up and you always move, you don't really own things. Like, you don't really have a room, you don't really have a bed, you don't really have this home feeling. And I'm really happy to have it somewhere in the world. In the Caribbean, it's better, but I love it.
Okay.
And I need it.
Okay, great. So traveling a lot. I mean, you must face some challenges, and it can't all be just fun. I'm sure, you have seen things and you have experienced things that, weren't necessarily the most pleasant. So would you mind sharing some of those?
Well, I think the hardest thing for me when I when I travel solo in a country is being careful, because as a young woman, I I get hit on, harassed a lot. So I always have to be careful for my surrounding, taking care of my stuff, and looking behind if I'm not being followed by a man. If men that are talking to me are, if they have good intentions or bad intentions. So that's I think that's the hardest part of traveling.
Okay. Yes, I mean, even for men also, we have to be very careful when we go to new places, because I mean, you don't know who is who, as you say, and there are so many things that can affect you. So how do you deal with this
Yeah,
though? Could you give me like 3 travel tips?
travel tips. Um, well, I would say the first one is I don't really know how to say it, but is stay local. I don't know if you get what I mean, but it's like I hate the tourists that just resort all day, things, activities, and you don't get to see life, to go to the city and to talk to the people living locally. My first tip would be to go find someone. Like, if you're in a hotel, go find the drivers, the cleaners, or just people passing by, and ask them where you can shop some, I don't know, some drinks or some food, some local food, and ask them for tips, because they live there and they will give you the best advice. If you ask to the hotels, you will just waste your time, your money, and it will just be the regular tourist thing. So my first advice would be to go local.
Yes.
Um, second tips. Second tip: don't buy too much souvenir
Why?
because
Why?
it's really expensive. It's really expensive. You don't really have a lot of place in your luggage, and it's all made in China. So
That is a good one. That is a good one. And you know what? I agree. You're right. You're right. Do you have a third if you don't?
well, my last tip would be. Yeah, quickly, it would be if you can learn 1 or 2 words, or maybe more sentences in the language that local people are talking, it will always help you. Always.
Fantastic. I like that. I like that very much. Just sticking to that whole resorts versus local conversation. Where do you usually stay? Like, I mean, is it like hotels or hostels for you?
Not really hostels. I've done it just one time in my life. In general, I use things like Airbnb.
Yes.
When you get to rent the apartment of someone, or well, I talk a lot to the people before going to the country. For example, on Facebook, I'm part of so many travelers groups. So you just have to ask a question like, okay, next month I'm going to Cuba. So is there anyone living there? What do you advise? Is there a place I can stay? can I stay with you? I can pay something. I prefer to go local. When I don't have the choice, then okay, I book some hotel, but not the resort thing because first of all, I'm a young student, so I cannot really afford resorts. And I don't really like the type of hotel where you just stay in and you don't get outside.
Yes, that all-inclusive type of that format, all-inclusive
Exactly.
format.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes,
Exactly.
yes, I like that. Regarding those travel groups, though, is it possible for you to give me a list of those? Not necessarily now, but even after the show, so I'll add them to the show notes for our listeners.
Sure. Of course, I will give it to you.
Okay, that would be nice. I'll add that to the show notes for the listeners. So, I'm curious to know which countries are on your bucket list and why? Because you have been to so many places. So, what's left for you to conquer?
Mm, so much to conquer, actually. So much. I've never been to Asia, for example, so I still have so many countries to discover: Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines. So that's on my plan. But first, I would really plan to go to Iran, and
Oh,
then from Iran go to Jordania and Palestine.
yes.
I would really like to go to these countries for my next trip, but I have to wait to have holidays, and before going to these Arabic countries, I will just do city breaks. From Paris, you can go to Portugal, to Netherlands, to Spain just for a week or just for
Oh,
the weekends. I don't really consider it discovering because it's just for a weekend, but I will
yes.
I will do new countries.
Okay, good, good. Um, do you have any encouragement for persons who would like to travel but are afraid to?
Um, I would say never say that traveling is too expensive. It,
Why is that? Why
it's
is that?
not really.
Why is that?
It's not true. I don't like when
Mm.
my friends look at me like, "Oh, you're always traveling. Are you rich or something?" No, I'm not rich. I'm just planning ahead, and I plan good, so I can travel a lot without wasting all of my money in traveling. And even if it's a bit costing, it's always worth it. I mean, I prefer to spend that $100 in another part of the world than in going clubbing all weekend in Paris, for example.
Yes, I agree. I mean, that's a great way to save money for travel if you're interested in traveling. Like, I mean, even on
Yeah,
clothes, like, I mean, of course, you're
exactly.
going to look good and stuff, but instead of spending that extra $20 or $2,000, depending on the currency that you're using, you
Mm-hmm.
could save that towards a trip. And yeah,
Yeah,
so I agree. I agree. So now,
yeah.
what?
It's
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's the small things. For example, in the morning, I'm like, should I stop at Starbucks and buy that $5 coffee? I really need it, and I'm like, no. You prefer to save that $5 for traveling and to buy one coffee or one cocktail in another country, which where the coffee will be less expensive and you will enjoy the view. I think like that. So I
Yes.
save.
Okay, good. Um, I'm curious. What do you usually do to relax?
To relax. Recently, I just pick a book and I go to some parks because it's sunny and I just lay on the grass and read my book with music on. Yeah, reggae music.
What do you nice? What do you usually read? What do you usually read?
I read a lot. I read a lot of geopolitics
Okay.
about conflict in Africa or conflict in the Middle East because I really like those kind of articles
So
and books.
non-fiction, that's your thing.
Yeah. Yeah, mostly.
Okay. All right. Good. So, what is your dream job, Alex? What is your dream job?
That's a really big question. I don't have an answer for that question. I see myself, I imagine myself doing so many jobs that I consider cool. Well, to answer, I would say a job where I can just get paid for just discovering new countries and telling the people about the countries and giving my tips.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yes. I can see you doing a blog or even a podcast for yourself where you're doing this.
I hope so.
Okay. Alex, thank you so much for coming on the show. How can people reach you to continue a conversation with you?
Well, I have an Instagram at Alexandra MG. I will give you the details.
Yeah.
And I also have a Facebook. If you want me to add you to all the travelers groups, I can help.
Okay, so the listeners they can get that help from you. That's so wonderful. I'll definitely add your contact to the show notes once you give it to me.
Sure.
So once again, thank you again, and continue traveling. I look forward to speaking to you in the future.
You're welcome, and thank you for inviting me, Ryan.
Thanks for listening today. I hope you are inspired. You can find more helpful and motivational material at globalinsidersgroup.com. That is, insiders with an S. You can also keep in touch at Global Insiders on Instagram. See you next time, but remember, you can be your own superhero. Bye.